On the verge of GM shareholders meeting, grieving parents who are in the middle of the ignition switch recall, they're making their views known right in front of the company's headquarters.
7 Action News reporter Andy Choi standing by live downtown Detroit. And Andy, what's their biggest concerns about this tonight?
You know, they want to make sure their children are not forgotten. They want to make sure the momentum is moving as the shareholders meeting is slated for tomorrow morning. And as far as last week's mea culpa goes, these parents say GM's own probe didn't tell the whole story.
To quote Senator Blumenthal, it was the best report money could buy.
Everything was there. It was the frustrating part was that even the high-paid engineers, the legal people, and everybody, they couldn't put two and two together to figure it out.
Holding photos of their children outside GM headquarters, Ken Reiner and Laura Christian say they want to keep the heat on General Motors. Both of them spoke in Washington, D.C., both of them losing loved ones from GM's faulty ignition switches. And they say the victims total more than the 13 GM acknowledges.
I personally have 120 documented to date. I mean, that's just what I have. I mean, at first I was doing research and finding them. And then now, through my GM Recall Survivors Facebook page, people are finding me. I mean, there's horrible calls.
So that's the GM math.
And it's why these grieving parents hope shareholders reflect upon exactly what GM stands for.
Is this a company you really want to own shares of? A company that does not take corporate or other responsibility for their actions? You know, no money in the world can make up for what they've done, and no profit that the shareholders could receive. Is it really worth it?
Do you believe them when they say this is the new GM?
No.
Also on hand today, a group of people representing former GM workers who were injured at a plant in Colombia. Both of these groups are expected to be outside of the GM headquarters tomorrow morning when that shareholders meeting takes place. For now, we are live in Detroit. Andy Choi, 7 Action News.
All right, thanks, Andy. You know our cameras will be there tomorrow as well. Now, dozens of lawsuits filed by the owners of cars with defective ignition switches will be heard in New York. A federal judicial panel ruled all the cases will go to U.S. District Judge Jesse Furman. More than 80 lawsuits have been filed by people who claim their cars lost value in the recall. GM has suggested it will not compensate them for the alleged economic loss.